Hi, everybody. Recruiting Animal here on April 16th, 2025. Dominic, okay, do you know about the big five personality characteristics?
Yes.
Okay,
Literally, I was just talking about, well, here's the GPT I just talked about. So, hold on 1 second.
Ocean is the short form, but I'm only interested in two today, okay? You're listening to me, right? Nod your head. Okay.
Yep. Sorry.
Okay. So there's neuroticism, which is emotionality, right?
Yep.
You could be low or high. And there's extroversion, your outgoingness. Now, apparently, it's been shown that extroverted candidates are generally, they're not just more outgoing, they're more positive. They're more happy on a daily basis than people who score high in neuroticism. Do you think companies should really favor those candidates? I mean, you want to work with people who are fun to be with. So there's a certain trade-off between someone's technical ability and their personality. So do you think extroverts make better candidates than neurotic people who score high than other people? Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it depends on the role, right? But yeah, I mean, do you want to be around people that give you energy? Absolutely. That are talkative, that are great to be around, that are positive. Yeah.
Okay. So does that actually play out for you in your actual work, that you'll send somebody out, and a client comes back and says, I like her skills, but she's a bit of a cold fish. Whereas Billy over there, he doesn't have as strong a background, but, he just makes you feel good being with him.
The reason I say it depends on the role, because right now we're working on some roles, enterprise sales, that they're basically taking data scientists and putting them into enterprise level sales roles, where these people are all introverts, which is weird because the normal sales person that we're going with is usually an extrovert, high energy. It's just a totally different profile, but it works because they're literally compiling all this data, putting it together.
My experience, let me interrupt you. My experience with that is that's the pre-sales person who goes along with the sale, or the tech salesperson who's a buddy to the real salesperson. And so the salesperson establishes the relationship, then brings in this techie to close it. Talks to the other techies in the company. Don't they do it as a buddy system like that? No, eh?
Normally, yes. That's exactly how they do it. But for this client, they want these people in that enterprise level sales role.
So how do you assess somebody who's a techie as to whether they're going to be able to do prospecting, business development?
That's a good question, right? That is, so for the last guy that we just placed, he came from a little sales background. He started off as BD, BDR, SDR, all that 10 years
ago. Hold
on,
just so people do. BD is business development. Okay. Yeah. SDR, sales development, right?
Correct. Okay. So and then he ended up working his way through, ended up going the data side, analytics side, and then now he came back into an enterprise.
Okay, so this guy, he's got a sales background. Okay, that's a little different.
So yeah, that's why it depends on the role. But yeah, for what you just said is the normal playbook. Bring in your pre-sales guys, bring in your solutions consultants, and then they'll partner them with your enterprise, because the enterprise salespeople don't know the product like the pre-sales guys.
Okay. What do you think of this? I was watching some. I can't remember his name, but he's probably pretty well known already. He's a former CIA agent or some kind of secret agent. And he was promoting this skill called elicitation. And that's a way to get information from people by giving them making an incorrect statement, which makes them want to give you the correct information. So if you don't want to ask someone her salary, you can say, I assume you're making around 100,000 right now. So she'll correct you and she'll say, no, I'm making 110. So you didn't have to ask her. Do you think that would work with people, or it's just too obvious what you're doing? You're fishing for doing a trick.
I ask them right out of the bat. Where do you need to be? What's the number that you need to be at? Where you currently
at? That's different. Where do you need to be is like what you're looking for, not where you are. Okay.
Right.
So you don't ask it.
Well, I usually take off 15,000 off what they tell me. Hey, I'm already at 125. All right, take off 15.
Oh, okay. If they actually tell you where they are, you don't trust that figure. Is that what you're saying?
No, I usually take out, especially percent. I'll take out 15 automatic. Okay, so roughly you're this. And but here's the other thing too. In my niche, I already know what they're getting paid, so they can't really lie. I mean, I know unless they got a special comp plan, in the last 3 years, maybe.
Okay. What do you think about his technique for getting information, though? Do you think it makes sense, or is it too transparent?
I think it makes sense for the right person, right? I try everything. Why not, right?
Okay, yeah. So nobody, these guys who come on this show, they usually don't like to they don't like to make a clear statement, okay? Yeah,
Well,
maybe.
because there's no like right or wrong. It's you never.
Well, you could say, generally speaking, I think they're not going to like you making assumptions that are incorrect, and they won't feel good about correcting you. They're going to dislike it, or they'll
Yeah.
see right away you're trying to trick me. You think, you're trying to exploit me. You're not my friend. You're working as a combatant,
Yeah. Well, hopefully you don't have that reputation going into the call, right?
Well, you don't necessarily have a reputation at all. People don't know you, beforehand. Okay, here's something. What if you were interviewing somebody and the candidate said to you, Dominic, I feel like you're interrogating me. That this isn't like a friendly conversation. I feel like I'm, getting grilled by the police. What would you say?
Good. That's my job. My job is to make sure that I line you up with the right role, so that way you're successful long term. I don't want to put you in a bad spot. I don't want to take you from the company that you've been at for 5 years and put you over here. So yeah, it might sound like an interrogation, but at the end of the day, it's for your benefit. I'm going to put you in the right spot based on how you answer these questions.
Okay, this is information I need to get. It might not be pleasant to be,
Right.
thrown a series of questions like this, but that's just the way the world works. Is that what you would essentially say to the guy?
Yeah, and essentially it's like, hey, the client's going to ask you these, and maybe in a different way. I'm just getting straight to the point, cutting out all the fluff. So let's just get it over with now. That way you're prepared for the next round of the interview.
Good prep. It's good prep if you're going to be a serious candidate, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about? So again, we're back at that sort of extrovert. Who's Tommy? Okay. We're back at that extrovert thing. Okay, Tom, welcome back. Okay, we're talking to Dominic about a candidate. You ask a bunch of questions, and the candidate says, Tom, I feel like you're interrogating me. We're not having a conversation. Okay, I feel unpleasant about this. What would you say?
I don't have time to fuck with you then. I mean, I don't know what I have to get this information. I have to know what your experience is. I have to know where you went to college. I have to know, what you're doing now, what you want to do, what you want to be when you grow up, right? All these things. And if you can't tell me that, I can't help you, and I can't help my client. I don't know how more clear I need to be, Joe. If you can't give me this information, then we can't work together. I'm sorry.
Okay, Dominic. He's a bit more combative than you were, right? Dominic said the same thing. That makes a lot of sense. But what do you think about his approach? Tommy is like, "Hey, man,
if you tell me
push
I'm
me,
interrogating
okay?
you, we've already are off on the wrong fucking foot."
Right. Yeah.
If
No
I hear the
doubt.
word interrogating, we have a serious fucking problem.
So, okay, let me go back in that question. Okay, why did you guys say that? Yeah, if you get that thrown at you that you're interrogating the person, you're on the wrong foot. I think it's natural for people, if you're going to ask a series of questions, it's natural for people to feel like you're pushing them a little. Don't you guys agree?
No.
No, only bad
I mean,
candidates.
I guess we're going to have to figure out a little more information. Did I call him, recruit him? He tells me he's interested. We schedule a call to talk. I tell him I want to, tell him about the job, and then get a little bit more information about his background. We start talking, and all of a sudden I'm interrogating him. We have a problem, right?
No, you got a problem, but whose fault is that? Yours or his?
His.
Okay, so it wasn't a problem before you got on the phone. You said we're on the wrong foot from the start. No, you didn't do anything wrong. Okay.
No. When I hear the word interrogate, that's the problem.
Okay. What about this? Okay. And I got to tell you, I asked these questions for Dominic. He gave great answers already. So all the many listeners to this show, they're going to be comparing what you say to him, Tom. But you have told us many times that your clients like people who are extroverts. Okay.
Mhm.
And I was reading that people they score high on the feeling category, neuroticism. They're way more negative, their personalities, than people who are extroverts. Extroverts are happy and more positively oriented. So I was saying that it might be a good idea to have a bias in favor of extroverts. Is that where your clients are coming from?
Could be. Yeah,
It could
absolutely.
be. Okay. Look, if you're busy looking at something else, it's okay. I'm sorry if I'm bothering
No,
you.
no, no,
Okay.
no, no, no. Absolutely. I mean, like that. Yeah, that whole part of that extrovert thing. Of course, if they're looking for an extrovert, that's something they're going to want. Why?
But why do your clients want it? So they can come to work and feel like it's a bit of a good time with nice people?
No, because the role itself is not traditional structural engineering, sitting behind a desk all day doing design. So that extrovert personality thrives in a role where you're not staring at a screen all day, 8 hours a day.
Okay,
That's
I'm
why
moving
they
on. I'm moving on. Okay, you place somebody, and the client calls you back after hired and says, "You know what? Your candidate, your new hire is late once a week." Okay, complains about the candidate, the new hire being late. What would you guys do? This is real.
Um,
New hire is late. Is it
Once
a
week.
permanent
Once
position or
every
is it a
week.
contract?
What?
Is it permanent or
Permanent,
contract?
permanent hire.
they're
That's a
not going to call
problem.
me and tell me that.
Yeah, they would just fire him or tell me, hey, we're firing Steve because he's late all the time. It's not my job to tell the candidate to be on time. What the fuck is that? I'm not the boss. He doesn't report to me.
Okay, you guys don't. I know this is a real story. The client did call her. It was a small company, and the boss called the recruiter and said, "Look, there's something wrong with your person." Don't you think your clients might give you a warning that I might have to let your candidate go because she's
Why is he? My question is, why is he? What did he tell you? Why he's always late?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on beyond that. Okay, so is that what you'd say to the manager? Did you ask her? Did you talk to her? Why is she coming in late every week? We don't know. In this case, you can say, we don't know enough, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's mine.
I'm moving on. Okay.
No, I mean, you guys froze. All I was saying is, like, I want to know what do you want me to do about it, and B, what did you tell the candidate? What do you know? If you had a conversation with the candidate, if you told it, or the new employee, fuck candidate, he's a new employee now. Are you calling me when all your employees are late, or just this one?
Well, you didn't place all my employees. Don't get smart with me, okay?
I mean, I just like, what do you want me to do, bro?
Well, I'm just warning you. I'm warning you, Tom. If she doesn't
Okay,
pick
great.
up,
Let's fire
you're
him,
gonna have to
and I'll
replace
find
her.
you somebody else. Let's
So
fire him, and I'll find somebody else.
You wouldn't call the candidate and say, "Look, what's happening? I got a call that you're late on a regular basis."
No, that's not my fucking job, man. Like, where
Yeah,
did the company?
it is your
Now I
job.
gotta make sure the guy.
If you want to avoid having to do a whole new search for nothing, yeah, it is your job.
Why is he? What are the reasons he told you he was late?Hy is he always late? If you had that conversation with him.
No, Tom, you haven't.
What? No. What am I supposed to do? You're the boss. You have. Hey, Dominic, you've been late 3 times this week. Why? Then you want to call me and tell me, hey, Dominic's got a wife who is constantly beating the shit out of him, and he's been late 3 times this week. What can we do about it? I might need to fire Dominic. Then I can maybe have a conversation with Dominic, but not if you haven't had a conversation with Dominic yet. Why he's always late? What the fuck are you calling me for?
Oh, because I don't want to have a confrontation with Dominic.
Well,
I
you're a
thought
shitty
you
boss,
had a
and fuck
relationship
you.
with
I'll
him.
find another client because you're a shitty ass boss.
Yeah. In 15 years, I've never had a direct hire manager call me and say, "Hey, your candidate's late." Now,
Oh, yeah.
contractors, temps, yeah,
Yeah. Oh, you've had it. So what did you do?
temps.
What did
They're
you
called.
do?
Find him
I call
somebody
them. I
else.
say, "Hey, if you can't make it in on time, just let me know. We'll find somebody else. Obviously, you can't make there. Your car won't start. This, that." You're talking about $15 an hour rolls. That was
I
different
have
back in
gotten
the day.
calls. hey, so-and-so candidate doesn't look like he's going to make it. We're having concerns about his technical abilities, or we're having concerns that he's not working, he's remote, and he's not doing all of his work, right? So I'm just letting you know, we're going to have another come to Jesus meeting with him, but you may need to replace him. And then I can decide if I want to count the candidate or not. But what am I going? I'm going to warn the candidate, right? Hey, the bosses are upset with you. That's not my fucking problem, and I don't want to do that because it could cause a rift across everybody. Like the candidate, like, what the fuck is the client calling you for? You're not my boss. Why are you getting? Like, that's just way too much. Way too much.
Okay, let me take that back a bit to what the extrovert thing. Do you, if someone has that wonderful extroverted personality that makes you just feel being good with them? Okay. Do you warn your clients, if they say, look, I just think this person's great. Do you warn, hey, don't fall in love with the personality. Make sure as well that they have the tech. Would you ever caution a person? Because it happens.
Because they have engineering degrees. I don't need to do that. They do that themselves. Right? Like, I guess if it was a non-technical guy hiring an engineer and he fell in love with them, I might say, hey, do we need to give him a test? Right? I know you don't have an engineering degree and you want to hire this guy. Let's get him tested. I can proctor a test. I may do that. But if they're my clients you're talking about, they all have engineering degrees. If they don't check his technical background and are too stupid to fall in love with him before doing that, that's their own problem.
Yeah.
I can't tell my clients who are fucking PEs who I couldn't do one math problem if my life depended on it to tell them they need to check the guy for technical experience. Who the hell am I?
Okay, I already promoted Dominic's show on Thursdays at 12 o'clock Eastern, and it's called what's the name of the show? Maybe they can find it that way. What's the name of it, Dominic?
Just look for me on LinkedIn.
Okay,
Business Development Roundtable.
Yeah, Business Development Roundtable.
Okay, and it's Dominic DOMENIC. I couldn't find Dominic because I was looking DOMINIC, but it's
You were looking for the Greeks, not the Italians.
okay. And the last name is Maiani, MAIANI.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, and then you'll find him. He doesn't want to make it easy. He only wants the people who are so devoted to business development that they
You know,
really search for
you know what Ernie says? If you want to come and learn, you'll find a way to be there.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And we don't. It's not like I'm sitting there just
I like
telling them
spoon
what to do.
feeding people. Okay, because I think they're like me. Okay.
They
Okay.
shouldn't be in this business then.
Tom's got 3 shows, and actually one of them I was promoting today on my Facebook group because Tom wrote a paean, like a praise, a song of praise to his applicant tracking system, to Loxo. He put it in a comment. It was huge, and I posted it as a separate posting. And you actually got a great comment, a praise for that from what's that guy? What's the guy's name? A well-known recruiter. I can't remember his name. He said, "Tom, this is fantastic." I thought it was very good too. But it's all about how much he loves Loxo, LOXO. The thing is, that show is only on once a month. How would they? When's that? Thursdays? Once every
third Thursday. The third Thursday of every month, we do a Loxo/Jobin users roundtable. Basically, any new things that are happening, both those applicant tracking systems, CRM, anything you have questions about Loxo or want to share tips, tricks, all kinds of stuff that's happening because they're constantly changing things, they're constantly adding things, removing things, etc.
Okay, but
Actually, Tom, what day is that in time? Because I got 2 new recruiters joining me.
Tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern.
okay, that Thursday, the third Thursday, 4:30 Eastern.
Third Thursday,
How do they
4:30.
find that? The Recruiter Roundtable, or how?
Yeah, you can go to the Recruiter Roundtable. You can go to the Recruiter Roundtable Facebook group, the Recruiter Roundtable LinkedIn page, www.therecruiterroundtable.com, or send me an email at thomas@prsearching.com or to the Recruiter Roundtable at gmail.com.
Okay. Anyway, so the thing is, I assume as well, there's so many if you're in a Facebook group for recruiters, half the question, or at least 25%, are about I wanted to get a new ATS, or I'm buying my first applicant tracking system. What should I do? So if someone is not yet a user of Loxo or Jobin,
Absolutely,
okay,
they can come on. Yeah,
And-
anybody who has an interest in Loxo or has an interest in Jobin can come on.
okay,
Users
they can
or
come
people
on and
interested.
say, they can say, I'm using this other system right now, and I'm these are the problems
Why
I'm
is it
having.
better? Yeah.
Okay.
And animal, a lot of these on these Facebook groups, I see a lot of these people post. Just because Tom's using something doesn't mean that that's going to be the right tool for you.
Mhm.
You know, just so
And
remember that, because
I
everyone's
try
always
to
like,
tell
"What
people
tools do
that
you
all
use,
the
Doc?"
time. Yeah.
You know,
I mean, think about if you're doing temp and contract. Don't want to use Loxo, right? If you're real
No.
big into open to work, you probably don't want to use Sales Navigator, right? Like what works for me might not work for everybody, right? But if you're doing permanent placement, you're going after a lot of passive candidates, you don't send tons of emails, right? And tons of in-mails, then my 3 tools will probably work good for you. But and still it might not, because you might not like Loxo's UI, you might not like Dobbins UI or whatever.
Okay, so if someone is curious, if you go to Recruiters Online on Facebook, and in the pinned postings at the top of the page, you'll find his huge list of why he likes using Loxo and Dobbins.
I need to update that too, by the way.
But no, there's lots of updates in it. You just posted it in a comment.
I still need to update it. I
Here's
even
my
said
simple thing. He put it in a comment. He doesn't use spacing. There's no white space. You can see there's something valuable there, but it's hard to read. So all I did was I reposted it with white space between all the points. It's quite exhaustive. I've never seen anything like it. Okay. Somebody tells you exactly why they like their applicant tracking system. And so, you know what he's saying, oh, it might not be for you. If you read this article, you'll have a pretty good idea, okay, that he wrote. So congratulations, Tommy.
Thank
okay,
you. I will
for writing.
I have actually a PDF of it too, but you said you pinned it to your page?
It's pinned at the what do you want, a medal as well?
No, I'm just looking. I can't find it.
Well, if you go to the top posting, there's a whole list of pinned. At least it looks different to me because I'm the admin. Okay, but
there
yours
they
is
are.
there.
Featured.
Okay. No, well, for me it says pinned. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, and those people that are watching, you come to any of our groups Thursday, Friday. It's always the same people, always willing to help, and we're not selling you nothing.
Key. Yeah, I don't sell anything.
We're not selling nothing.
No, but not only that, they're not like me either. Okay, they're way more laid back. Okay, so if you don't like my style, okay, like if you say recruiting animal, did you see that recruiting animal? Do you listen to recruiting animal? Well, no, because here's a guy who says I don't know anything, but I'm going to talk anyway. Okay, well that's what I like. And if you don't like it, don't come here. Go to their shows instead. They're more friendly and laid back, and I go there and I like their crews. Okay, there you go. They've got good followers. Okay, bad email openers. Are you ready? Yes. Okay. Yes, recruiting animal. Shoot them at us. Hope all is well. Is that bad?
Oh, I hate it.
Tom, are you with him as well? Hope all is well.
It depends on who I'm sending it to, but in general, yes. I have used that. I have used that.
No, why you used it? What context? Because Dominic's against you.
No, a client or candidate that I haven't talked to in a while. Hey, Steve, hope all is well. We haven't spoken in a while. I've done that, but it's someone that I know kind of quasi have known for a while, but maybe we haven't spoken 6 months. I may do that.
Dom.
But when you say animal, are you saying cold, like completely cold, never talk to this guy?
You know, that's what I get. Lots of emails, from people, especially on LinkedIn. Who's this guy? I never heard of him before. Hope all is well. How's your family?
Yeah. No. What I've learned from dealing with a lot of C-suites, you get straight to the point, no fluff. Here's what I got.
From who?
Straight to the point, C-suite executives.
Okay.
No fluff, straight to the point.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's a woman named Alex, and she says her emails are successful because she uses three guides. Super direct, very short, and totally uncorporate. And the people she's emailing, she said, love it, and they get back to her. Do you agree with those three principles? Very short, not corporate sounding, and very direct. Okay?
100%. Readable on an iPhone. Readable on an iPhone screen. That is the most fucking important thing about an email.
There you go, right there. Can they respond between meetings quick? Or is it getting pushed down to the...
Do they have to fucking go like this? I'm sorry, my hands. Do they have to go like this, to read your email? Your email's done. It's dead. It has to be, I can open it and read it.
It's going to the executive assistant, and then you're getting put on the priority list, and guess where you're going? Not to the fucking top.
Yep.
Okay, you're a bad influence on Dominic, Tom. Okay, he's starting to say fucking all the time.
Oh, yeah, yeah, sorry.
He's a
I
fucking
don't
hockey
ever swear,
player.
guys.
Italian
don't
hockey
swear.
player. Like, if anybody has a bad influence, maybe I'm an Italian rugby player. They're equal.
I don't swear.
Okay. I don't mind. Okay, here's the second one. Sorry to bother you.
Yeah, that's fucking retarded. Sorry.
Oh man.
No. Dominic's not sure. He's nodding his head both in both
Sorry to
directions.
bother you? I don't
Sorry.
bother anyone. I've
The-
never bothered a fucking person in my life.
So what Tom just says, spot on. You're bringing value to them. I'm not bothering you. You're lucky I'm fucking emailing you. You know,
Yeah.
like you're lucky I'm bringing you this talent.
Okay.
It's just a mindset.
Well, they think there's you and 100 other people are trying to make them lucky. It's a bit of a burden. It's a bit of a
That's
burden.
fine.
Yeah.
They can think whatever they want. It doesn't make
Right.
what they're thinking true.
It's what I think.
Okay. Hope to hear back soon. Actually, that would go at the end of an email. Is that a presumption?
Hate it.
Hope to hear
Hate
back
it.
soon.
Hate it.
You know who Jeremy Miner says this all the time when he like pukes on it, like, oh hey, just circling back.
Oh, that's how he starts off. Oh, I think Rich might use something like that as well. I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay. Here's another one. Just wanted to touch base. What's wrong with that?
No, guys, sorry. I got to go.
Bye. Dom. Thanks for coming,
Excuse me.
Tom. You're a lot of fun.
Um,
He's always a lot of fun. He's a great guy. Okay.
just wanted to touch base.
Yeah.
I don't really use it. I go straight to the point. Like if I'm talking NPC, right? It's here's a enterprise account executive, and then I just put the numbers 2022, 2023, boom. Let me know when you want to chat. I try to take out all those fluff words.
That's a
That
fluff.
just don't
Okay.
make-
No, you
Yeah.
got a good point. You got a good point. This one,
Yeah.
okay. This is would love to hop on a call. Okay.
Yeah, why? Why do you want to hop on a call? Would love to. Yeah, I'm sure you would. Right? But
Well,
like
we do want to
provide enough value, they'll book a call on your calendar. That's the way I look at it. You know,
Well,
find a way to
Go ahead.
provide value. Find a way to provide value. Like for example, like the one NPC I was just telling you about, I just sent out. The guy responded immediately. Boom. Book the call. Sign an agreement within 3 days.
So you don't have a call to action at the end, like would like to book a call or.
No, here's my link. Here's
you-
my cell phone. Call me anytime.
Okay, so that's it. Okay, call me anytime. Call me anytime, but you're going to call that person back, aren't you?
Yeah, of course.
How many times?
For an NPC or just BD?
Whatever. Okay. Now I'll just tell you, there's the famous Tom Tuna rule: call until one of you dies. Okay.
You know what? I like what Ernie said the other day, and maybe this will help a lot of people that are listening. And I didn't even know this, but I'm like, that's a great point. You know, if you have an iPhone and you call and it says spam, but if you call again, it says animal. It could be maybe animal at the top. And I was like, oh, that's a great point. You know, you're right, because that happened to me. Somebody just did it and it said maybe this person. And I'm like, oh, did I call them or am I, you know, and I picked it up. And of course it was an RPO, but it's actually a great move. Call them twice if you have an iPhone. They will say maybe whoever
Oh,
the
like,
phone.
immediately one call after the other.
Yeah.
Some
I didn't
people,
know that.
some people say I didn't know that about what you just said, but some people say they don't like when these repeated calls. But nobody I've ever heard mention this tip that Ernie you said gave you. Okay.
No, I never heard of that either.
Okay. Here's one. Not sure if you saw my last email. No, that's Rich's. You don't like it?
No.
Why not?
Because I have an email tracker, so I know if they've looked at it. You
No,
know,
but it's a gambit. Like Rich sends out his email at nighttime. Then in the morning he'll send, I think, a text and make a phone call. And the phone call, he'll leave a voicemail. I'm just checking up to see if you got my email.
yeah. Now the way he does it, yeah. Like some people will just say what you just said in the first email or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
but he says that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Rich would say that's fine. And Rich is also another guy. If he's got, let's say, you know, I'm going to say even 400 potential people for a job that he's sending emails to, but he's got a select few, the real targeted people, and he will call those people to no end. He's also like a Tom Tuna rule. Call them till you die, till they tell you not to. Okay. So are you one of those guys? It doesn't sound like it.
For the right person, yeah. I mean, hey, I got a good opportunity. Well, most of the people like where I'm doing sales roles, they respond, right? They respond immediately because I'm straight to the point. Like I have an enterprise account executive, base is this, OT is this. Here's the company. Let's chat.
Okay. My experience is that you call people 5 times, they'll get back, but they don't like you. Okay. They'll say,
I don't know if I'm calling
tell you
5
not to
times
call
in
me
a row.
anymore.
If it's a candidate, I'm not calling 5. I'll call, leave a voicemail, send a text. Hey, it's Dom. Call me back. Got a great opportunity.
Okay. So some people say 3 times, and I think that's fairly reasonable. Okay. Let me see. Okay. If there's anything else I should mention there. Thanks. Are you okay to stay on a little longer? We're not at the end of the show. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to guess that most of the people who come onto this show fairly regularly are not going to agree with this. If you're doing business development, think of yourself as a consultant who happens to recruit. So you need to know the current state of the business and what they're focused on. You just can't call up and say, hey, I'm a headhunter. I'd like to do business with you. You have to spend time doing research on that company. Now, most recruiters, big billers that I know would say, I'm not going to spend 10 minutes, let alone 20, researching every call I make. Some people say that's the best way to go about it. What do you think?
I think it's the best way to go about it. And it's not 10 minutes anymore. It's 5 seconds with all the tools that we have access to, depending on what you're using. Like I can pull the metadata on you or a company and with their LinkedIn profile in seconds and have everything ready for me. By the time I'm even hitting call on my phone, it's all right in front of my face.
So what are you talking about? Using Grok or Gemini or ChatGPT or something like that?
Not even that. LinkedIn Talent Insights is huge for me right now. I don't know if I can share my screen here, but I'll show you.
And if you can, do you want to? Sure.
Yeah, let me show you what I've been doing, and this works great. So give me a company that you want to look at.
You pick one from your field.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. So then when I'm getting on the phone with them, I can see, all right, what's your attrition rate? How many hires have you recently had? Where's your talent flowing from? And so I have all this data while I'm making the call. And then I can, for me specifically, I'm going by function, sales, BD, apply. All right, what's the attrition rate here? Overview, 10% attrition, not bad. Okay, 12 job openings. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So I have all this data in front of me in seconds, ready to go. Where are they pulling their talent from? What are the titles? Where are people leaving? Where are they going to? Where are they losing them to? And where are they hiring them from? Hey, I see that you just lost 5 people to these companies, blah, 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 blah. So they're like, well, how do they know all this? I mean, how do they know that like most people don't even have access to this?
But how do you introduce this information when you're doing your business development?
When I get on a call with them, it's like, hey, I see you have 12 job openings right now under the sales function. You guys have a good job with the attrition rate of 10%. But I see that you recently lost, in the last year, you lost people to these direct competitors. Let's figure out a way to stop that and retain the top talent, unless you want to let them go. Like, you're just going in there with numbers. And then usually I already know because I'll talk to somebody at the company, lower level, because the salespeople love to talk about themselves. They'll give you all the data. You just got to ask, and they will tell you everything. For example, this company right here, I just picked them apart because one of the guys got let go, and he was the top performer. And I picked him apart because he got on the phone with me. The moment he got done with the CEO, he called me he talked to the CEO at 1:30. He calls me at 3 o'clock. He told me everything. I even helped save my client one deal that was $2 million. So that's talking about adding value to your customer, your client, bringing that kind of value and data over. I didn't have to do it. But it's like, hey, here you go. You guys are this high on the RFP. You're missing out on this part. They're bidding at 6 to 7% because they're using their legacy solution. You guys are at 10 to 14. Maybe you can lower that. And here's why.
Okay.
Is it?
But that's from the feedback from your candidate, not from something you're picking up from Talent Insights, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So,
No,
but
Talent Insights just gives me an idea of where the talent.
no, but I was
fall.
interested when you go. Hi, Donna. When you go
Hi, Donna.
and get on the phone with this person, you said, "Hi, it's Dominic Miami. I'm with whatever your name of your company is, and I'm a headhunter. And I was noticing that you've got right away. You go into it, and to give them these insights, you got 12 jobs open right now. You've lost a certain percentage of people over the last few years to your competitors. I'm wondering if we can do some business together. I know you said not can we do business. You said, can we solve this problem that you're losing these people? But then you added they might not they might not feel bad that they lost those people. You don't know.
Yeah. You don't know. And that's why you gotta know it for me, it's quantity or quality over quantity, right? If you do your research up front, you don't need to make 1,000 cold calls. Where a lot of recruiters are, they come from. I mean, Donna, you know this. If you come from a big agency, Anna, you know this. You got the KPIs. You got to make 50, 100 phone calls a day. It's like, well, no, you don't. With a small boutique firm, I'm very targeted on who I'm calling, and I'm calling these people for a reason because it aligns with the other clients I have. So I can use one candidate at potentially 5 clients right now. Like I have that situation right now.
So you would call it the narrowness of your niche in military terms is a force multiplier, because
Correct.
every person you speak to is good for a number of positions. If not now, then perhaps in the very near future as well.
Exactly.
Force multiplier. I learned that from David Perry, the super recruiter. I like it very much. Donna, has anyone ever called you, now that you're inside and people are bugging you, have they ever called? No one's called you with these LinkedIn insights? Said, Donna, I know all about your company, okay? And I want you to trust me.
But I love that because that would help me find more companies to even pick from to see where some of the people are leaving my competitors going to.
Actually,
So,
Donna, I use that for recruiting a lot too. Like, okay, where did they recently hire from for this role? Like right now, I'm recruiting a regional sales manager. Okay, where did the last 3 regional sales managers come from?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go look at who else they got at that company.
I'm sorry, I came late to the ball game. What is this that you're on?
It's LinkedIn Talent Insights. I mean,
Is it a new thing that you have to buy through them?
Yeah, you probably do. It's probably pretty expensive, but it's right here for business. So right here, and then Talent Insights.
Gotcha.
You've got to sell it to your VP or whoever.
Yeah.
Donna, I can probably get you a seat. So let me know.
Okay. All right, I'll see what I can find out. That looks fantastic.
Here,
And nobody's ever called and had that sounds terrible, but had real.
They're not prepared.
No, I mean, I don't want to be rude and say they don't have real value to offer, but they're not doing anything above and beyond what I'm doing. So, yeah.
Donna, what's our role that you're working on right now? Like that I can, what's your company called again? Sorry.
Well, that's difficult. Blueprint.
She's a medical communications. She's a medical communications.
Yeah. But the company right now that I'm recruiting for is Blueprint, but no E, BLUPRANT, one word, oncology. There's nothing listed that we're looking for, but I'm looking right. The search I'm engaged in right now is for a new entry-level account director, and not an entry-level role, someone stepping into account director or an associate account director, which is also difficult because the words they don't all match up.
Well,
yeah, that's us.
Your company recently acquired. You weren't working.
We're acquired by Patari, but we aren't officially under that name yet.
Okay.
So here's a departure you had. Here's some recent hires.
Yeah.
Yeah, within the last 12 months. Boom, boom.
Yep. Ali, Katie.
So going here. Okay, where'd they come from before? And then, so not only that.
So can you look up, actually see that first company, that Nucleus Global and Inizio Group? Because the rumor is they're bleeding, and we're getting some of them, but I'm curious as to how much they really are bleeding.
15% attrition, 15 open jobs. Where's the talent?
Does it show?
From?
Yes.
Let's see. Yeah, 101 departures.
Yeah.
103 hires. Where are they departing to? Healthy Unlimited, Real Chemistry.
Wow.
So then I'll go here and say I'll pull this since I have LinkedIn. This is why I love LinkedIn Recruiter. And a lot of people just don't know how to use this part, right? So I can go right here and pull them right from here, and I can see their profile. If you don't have LinkedIn Recruiter, you don't have access to this. You just see the number 3.
Yeah, I can see
I
why you
have-
would want both. I have Recruiter, but I don't have the Talent Insight. But man, that's helpful.
Yeah, so you can see right here, boom, where are they coming from?
So they hired 3 people from Prime. That's so interesting. They're beefing up their
Here's the-
pubs. Okay. I mean, this really does, like, if you know your industry and you know your niche, this tells you so much of what's going on in their
Oh, it's
company. And
gold.
even without knowing what their accounts are, you can start figuring out who their clients are based on where they're hiring and what's going on in the industry. That's super interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Like,
I think
I
we can
can,
definitely make a case for that. Talent
Yeah.
Insights.
Reach out to me. I can give you a seat so you can show them. And
Okay.
You know,
it's
Donna
expensive.
complained- Oh, sorry. Every time
pretty
Donna's on the when I post this show, I put our profiles on it. Okay, there's a nice picture of Dominic and me.
And I look
Tom.
like,
No, you always complain about the picture.
it's
Okay,
my fault because I have bags under my eyes. I have to work on that. I'm like, it's not as bad in real life, I promise. But
Just
it's
wear
not-
blue light glasses, Donna, and then you
I
can
know.
hide
I
the
need to
bags
start wearing
in
my
your eyes.
glasses. I know. That's what I need to start doing. Wednesdays will be like a no contact
put
day.
them up
But
right now, and that's the picture I'll take. Put on your glasses this minute. You
I
don't have.
don't have them in there in the bathroom.
Here,
Okay.
there's my picture. Am I looking at the camera?
No, you're too far away. Move a little
Oh.
closer. Okay. See, but that's you actually are very straight. Your pictures are very straight, but with Donna's and Tom's, I started they're very expressive, so I started putting
That's true.
Yeah, she's
Well,
usually like this. Yeah. She's like, no, but once I put in a whole bunch of smile, I posted you today.
Yeah, I
You're
saw today's. Today's isn't as bad. And I was like, I bet you made a conscientious effort to try to find
No,
one where I
that's
don't
from
look like I was
that's from a
punched.
few months ago, you complained. I forget what you complained about, so I plastered you all over it, right? Smiling and looking happy. We're almost done. Anybody want to raise any other issues that I really enjoyed the discussion we had today?
I don't know. I'm glad I came in when I did because that is a super helpful tool.
Yes,
I mean,
thank you, Dominic. That was what a wonderful lesson. All the people who don't watch this show, they're gonna miss it.
Well, that's the kind of stuff that we do on these calls, right? Your show Thursday roundtable, and then the Friday call. Everybody's willing to help. You just gotta
Mhm.
ask,
Right.
you know. But believe me, there's a lot of people willing to take your money too. When there's a lot of free stuff that you can get in the good group of recruiters that we had. Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone's
very
willing to share.
Okay. Donna Terrell, right? It's Terrell.
Yes.
Or I say Terrell all the time, but it's
You
Terrell.
say it right every time, and then you think you said it wrong, and then you almost start apologizing, but you did it
I
right.
was saying it wrong, and she never corrected me, which
'Cause I don't care.
okay,
Like, call me
good.
whatever. I
like
don't
it. I
care.
said before, I like it that you don't care. I'm
Don't
probably
care.
mispronouncing Dominic's name as well. Mayani.
I'm the same as Donna. I don't care. You call me whatever you want.
Care
Dom,
either,
Dominique,
okay?
Dom,
We're
whatever.
great. These are the best people in the world. Thank you,
Right.
everybody, for coming. Talk to you
Thank
later.
you.